Commander Diana Frost stood at the window of Lunar Base Alpha, watching Earth rotate slowly in the black void of space. The message that had arrived 12 hours ago still echoed in her mind. To the developing civilization of Sol 3, greetings from the Galactic Empire. The warning system had worked perfectly. While the Kelveri thought their transmission was humanity's first contact with alien life, Earth's quantum detection grid had been tracking their ships for the past decade. Every move, every communication, every piece of technology, all carefully analyzed and countered before they ever reach Earth's solar system. Status report, Diana commanded, turning to face the holographic display dominating the command center. The room hummed with quiet efficiency as operators monitored Earth's hidden defenses. Operation Looking Glass is proceeding as planned, Commander, Lieutenant Karim reported, his fingers dancing across the control interface. Our surface installations continue broadcasting appropriate levels of primitive communications. The Kelveri are picking up exactly what we want them to see. Diana nodded, satisfaction mixing with grim determination. For 300 years, humanity had maintained the greatest deception in history. While officially appearing to be a civilization barely capable of reaching their own moon, they had built a military force that could challenge any empire in the galaxy. The massive shipyards of Ceres, hidden beneath kilometers of ice, continued their silent work. The quantum torpedo platforms orbiting Jupiter remained in perfect stealth configuration. And deep beneath Earth's oceans, the true heart of humanity's fleet waited, ready to emerge when needed. The Kelveri diplomatic vessel has crossed the Kuiper Belt, announced Captain Tashi from his monitoring station. Their approach vector matches historical patterns. They're following their standard first contact protocol. Diana allowed herself a small smile. The Kelveri were nothing if not predictable. Their empire had expanded across 500 systems using the same methodology. Identify developing worlds, make peaceful contact, establish a presence, and slowly strip away independence until the planet was nothing more than another resource for their empire. Begin Phase 2, Diana ordered. Around her, the command center shifted into higher alert. Deploy the welcome party. Remember, we're primitive but proud. Nervous but noble. Let's give them exactly what they expect to see. The diplomatic reception area had been prepared in Geneva, deliberately designed to look impressive by 20th century standards, while appearing charmingly obsolete to advanced alien eyes. As Diana's shuttle descended through the atmosphere, she reviewed the intelligence files one final time. The Kelveri were humanoid, tall and elegant, with silvery skin and eyes that seemed to shift color with their emotions. They considered themselves benevolent conquerors, bringing civilization to the galaxy one world at a time. They hadn't faced real resistance in over 1,000 years. That was about to change. Diana smoothed her deliberately simple uniform as she entered the reception hall. Around her, other members of Earth's primitive government gathered, all of them highly trained operatives chosen for their ability to play their parts perfectly. The Kelveri ship landed with characteristic grace, its crystalline surface gleaming in the sunlight. As the alien delegation emerged, Diana felt a surge of pride in humanity's patience. 3 centuries of preparation, waiting for this moment. High Ambassador Ven of the Kelveri stepped forward, his towering frame draped in shimmering robes that rippled with embedded technology. People of Earth, he announced, his universal translator converting his musical language to Earth's major tongues simultaneously. We come in peace and friendship, bringing the gifts of the Galactic Empire. Diana stepped forward, playing her role perfectly. We are honored by your presence, High Ambassador, she said, allowing just the right mix of awe and dignity to color her voice. Earth welcomes you in peace. As the formal introductions proceeded, Diana maintained her facade of diplomatic politeness. The Kelveri were scanning everything, of course. Their sensors probed the building, the city, the planet, finding exactly what Earth wanted them to find. They didn't detect the quantum-locked facilities beneath their feet. They missed the advanced shield generators hidden in plain sight as modern art sculptures, and they certainly didn't notice the dimensional pocket generators that kept Earth's true military might literally out of phase with normal spacetime. The diplomatic dance continued through the day. The Kelveri made their subtle hints about Earth's potential for advancement under their guidance. They spoke of trade agreements, cultural exchange, and protection from other spacefaring races. All the while, their ships in orbit continued their careful surveillance, gathering data that would convince them of Earth's technological inferiority. As night fell over Geneva, Diana stood once again at a window, this time watching the lights of the city below. Behind her, she heard the soft chime of a quantum-encrypted communication. "Commander," Lieutenant Karim's voice came through her neural link. "The Kelveri have taken the bait. Their ships are transmitting exactly the kind of assessment we predicted. They've classified Earth as a Class 3 developing world, suitable for standard Imperial integration protocols." Diana's reflection smiled in the darkness of the window. Everything was proceeding according to plan. The Kelveri would return to their empire, report their findings, and begin their standard colonization procedure. They would never expect that every step of their inevitable conquest had been anticipated and prepared for over centuries. "Very good, Lieutenant," she responded. "Maintain current operations. Let's show our guests exactly what they expect to see. Nothing more, nothing less." As the Kelveri delegation retired for the night, Diana thought about the massive fleet hidden in dimensional pocket space throughout the solar system, the quantum weapons that could reduce planets to atoms, and the FTL drive technology that humanity had kept secret for 200 years. The Kelveri Empire was about to learn a painful lesson. Never judge a civilization by what it shows you. Sometimes, the deadliest predators are the ones that look the most harmless. The game had begun, and humanity was playing for keeps. Admiral James Harrison walked through the holographic chamber deep within Titan Base, watching as three-dimensional images of Kelveri warships materialized around him. 2 months had passed since first contact, and the Empire was moving exactly as predicted. "They're marshaling their forces at the edge of the Arcturus sector," reported Strategic Director Yuki Tanaka, her form illuminated by the tactical displays. "Approximately 2,000 ships classify as their standard pacification fleet." Harrison allowed himself a grim chuckle. Standard pacification fleet. They really do have a protocol for everything, don't they? The Kelveri's predictability had been humanity's greatest advantage. For 3 centuries, Earth's deep space reconnaissance drones had watched the Empire's methodical expansion, documenting every tactic, every response, every weakness. Now that same empire was preparing to pacify a world that had spent generations preparing for this very moment. "Status of Operation Phantom Veil?" Harrison asked, turning to face the massive strategic display dominating the chamber's far wall. Director Tanaka gestured, and the holographic space filled with green status indicators. All subsystems operating at optimal efficiency. The Kelveri continue to see exactly what we want them to see. Their latest intelligence reports still classify Earth as a pre-FTL civilization, with minimal defensive capabilities. The deception was a masterwork of technological achievement. Every satellite in Earth orbit was actually a sophisticated holographic projector, creating the illusion of primitive communications equipment. What appeared to be weather stations on the Moon were quantum field generators, hiding vast underground cities and shipyards. Even Earth's atmosphere had been seeded with nanites that filtered any scans from orbit, showing only the industrial emissions of a developing world. "Message from Commander Frost," announced the base's eye. "The Kelveri diplomatic mission is preparing for their final consultation." Harrison nodded. This would be the Empire's last attempt at peaceful submission before they initiated their standard conquest protocols. They had no idea they were walking into the most elaborate trap in military history. The Geneva Conference Center had been specially constructed for this moment, its seemingly ordinary architecture concealing enough firepower to level a continent. As Diana Frost led the Earth delegation into the main chamber, she could feel the subtle hum of quantum shielding beneath her feet. High Ambassador Venn stood at the center of the Kelveri delegation, his silver skin gleaming under the artificial lights. "People of Earth," he began, his translator converting his words into perfect English, "we have observed your world with great interest. The Kelveri Empire offers you advancement, protection, and a place among the civilized worlds of the galaxy." Diana maintained her carefully crafted expression of polite interest as Venn continued his rehearsed speech. The terms were exactly what Earth's intelligence had predicted. Surrender sovereignty in exchange for technological advancement, accept imperial oversight of all military and economic development, and submit to cultural integration into the Empire. "We appreciate the Empire's generous offer," Diana replied when Venn finished, her words chosen with precise care. "However, Earth must maintain its independence. We cannot accept these terms." The shift in Venn's eye color from peaceful blue to warning amber was right on schedule. "Commander Frost, please understand that rejection of Imperial protection leaves Earth vulnerable. There are many dangers in the galaxy." "Are you threatening us, High Ambassador?" Diana asked, allowing just the right note of nervous defiance to enter her voice. "Not at all," Venn replied smoothly. "We merely wish to ensure you understand the full implications of your decision. The Empire's protection is not offered lightly, nor is its denial without consequence." As the diplomatic exchange continued, Admiral Harrison watched from Titan Base as the Kelveri fleet began its final approach. Right on schedule, their ships moved into attack formation, preparing to demonstrate the consequences of defying the Empire. "All defense grid commanders, initiate Protocol Omega," Harrison ordered through his neural link. Throughout the solar system, humanity's real military power began its final preparations, still hidden from Imperial sensors. The quantum torpedo platforms around Jupiter charged their weapons while maintaining perfect stealth. The massive fleet hidden beneath Saturn's rings powered up their engines, and deep within Earth's oceans, the planet's primary defense force began emerging from their dimensional pockets, ready to show the Empire why humanity had survived countless wars among themselves. "Sir," Director Tanaka called out, her voice tight with controlled excitement, "the Kelveri fleet has crossed the designated threshold. They're committing to their attack vector." Harrison smiled. The Empire's ships were arranging themselves in their standard assault formation, preparing to demonstrate overwhelming force against what they believed was a helpless planet. They had no idea they were flying into carefully prepared killing zones, their every move anticipated centuries in advance. In Geneva, Diana watched the subtle shift in the Kelveri delegation's demeanor as they received confirmation that their fleet was in position. High Ambassador Venn's expression carried the practiced regret of someone who had performed this scenario countless times before. "I regret that Earth has chosen this path," Venn announced, his translator barely keeping up with his rapid speech. "Know that what follows is a consequence of your own obstinance. The Empire will establish order, with or without your cooperation." Diana stood, straightening her uniform with deliberate slowness. "Ambassador Venn," she said, her voice carrying none of the previous nervousness, "I believe it's time we showed you something." With a thought through her neural link, Diana activated the quantum field dissolvers throughout the conference center. The holographic disguise hiding the building's true nature fell away, revealing gleaming walls of advanced alloys and weapon systems beyond anything in the Empire's arsenal. Venn's eyes shifted to pure white, shock in Kelveri physiology. "What is this?" he demanded, his translator crackling with distortion. "Our scans showed." "Your scans showed exactly what we wanted them to show," Diana interrupted, her voice now carrying the full authority of her true rank. "For 3 centuries, we've watched your empire expand. We've studied your tactics, analyzed your technology, and prepared for this moment. What you're about to witness is humanity's response to empires that threaten our independence." As if on cue, the sky above Geneva lit up with the emergence of Earth's true defense fleet from dimensional storage. Thousands of ships, each more advanced than anything in the Imperial arsenal, took up position above every major city. In orbit, the Kelveri fleet's sensors suddenly registered the true nature of Earth's defenses. What had appeared to be primitive satellites transformed into weapon platforms that made Imperial technology look primitive by comparison. The moon's surface rippled as massive hangar doors opened, revealing humanity's real space force. Admiral Harrison watched with satisfaction as panic spread through the Imperial fleet. Their neat formation began to break apart as ships registered weapons locks from enemies they couldn't even see. "All units," Harrison commanded, his voice reaching every human ship and installation in the solar system. "Execute Operation Revelation. Show the Empire exactly why they should have taken our warning seriously." Breaking point. Fleet Captain Raj Patel watched from the bridge of the UES Nightshade as the Kelveri fleet struggled to maintain formation. Their once perfect battle lines had dissolved into chaos as humanity's true military might emerged from dimensional storage. Multiple Imperial vessels attempting emergency FTL jumps, reported his tactical officer, Lieutenant Wei. "Their jump signatures are being disrupted by our quantum field generators." "No one leaves," Patel commanded. "They wanted to see humanity's strength. Let's give them a proper demonstration." The Nightshade led humanity's stealth armada in a maneuver that would have been impossible with Imperial technology. 500 ships, each darker than the space around them, moved in perfect synchronization through the gaps in the Kelveri formation. Their quantum drives left no trace, their hulls absorbed all scanning attempts, and their weapons were already locked on critical systems. In Geneva, Diana Frost faced High Ambassador Venn across the now transformed conference room. The holographic disguise had fallen away completely, revealing a military command center that put Imperial technology to shame. "Impossible," Venn whispered, his silver skin pale with shock. "Your civilization was primitive. Our scans." "Your scans showed what we wanted them to show," Diana replied. "For 300 years, we prepared. We watched your empire expand, studied your tactics, and built our defenses specifically to counter your technology. Every move you've made since entering our solar system was predicted and planned for centuries ago." The space battle unfolded exactly as humanity's strategic AI had predicted. The Kelveri ships, designed for overwhelming force against inferior opponents, found themselves facing an enemy that could strike from any direction with weapons that ignored their shields completely. Admiral Harrison's voice echoed through the command network. "All units, execute Pattern Omega. Show them why humanity survived its own wars." The UES Nightshade led the first strike, its quantum torpedoes passing through Imperial shields as if they didn't exist. Across the battlefield, human ships demonstrated centuries of advancement hidden from the galaxy's eyes. Ships vanished and reappeared at will. Weapons struck from impossible angles, and defensive systems made Imperial weapons seem primitive. Empire's reckoning. General Victoria Santos stood on the bridge of the UES Retribution as the combined human fleet prepared to push beyond Earth's solar system. The Kelveri Empire's initial attack force had been systematically disabled, their crews captured, their ships secured for study. "Status report on the Quantum Gate network," she commanded. "All gates charged and ready, General," reported Commander Jackson. "The Empire's home systems are about to learn why Earth developed stealth technology before faster-than-light travel." The human fleet moved through space in ways the Empire had never imagined possible. While Imperial ships required hours to charge their FTL drives, humanity's quantum gates could move entire fleets instantly across vast distances. The technology had been perfected centuries ago, but kept hidden, waiting for this moment. In the Kelveri throne world's orbit, Imperial sensors detected nothing until it was too late. The human fleet emerged from quantum space directly among their defensive platforms. Weapons that had never been tested in real combat proved devastatingly effective against Imperial technology. To all Imperial forces, General Santos broadcast on all frequencies. Her message translated perfectly into the Kelveri language. Your attack on Earth has failed. Your fleet has been disabled. Your defenses are now under our control. Consider your next actions very carefully." The Empire's response came swiftly. A massive counterattack with their reserve fleets. But humanity had spent centuries preparing for this possibility. The quantum gate network activated again, bringing Earth's full military might to bear. Ships appeared and disappeared like ghosts, striking from impossible angles with weapons that ignored Imperial defenses completely. New dawn. Ambassador Marcus Chen stood before the Kelveri Imperial Council, his simple black uniform a stark contrast to their ornate robes. The battle for the throne world had lasted less than 6 hours. Imperial technology, overwhelming against lesser civilizations, had proved useless against an enemy that had spent centuries preparing specifically to defeat it. "The terms are simple," Chen stated, his voice carrying through the vast chamber. "The Kelveri Empire will immediately cease all expansion. Every world in your empire will be given the choice of independence or continued association, and Earth will oversee the transition to ensure no more civilizations face the threat of imperial conquest." The Imperial Council, faced with the complete failure of their military forces and the loss of their capital's defenses, had no choice but to agree. Humanity had done what no other civilization in the Empire's 1,000-year history had managed. They had fought back successfully. In Earth orbit, Admiral Harrison watched the diplomatic feeds with satisfaction. The quantum gates were being established throughout Imperial space, ensuring that humanity could respond instantly to any future threats. The Empire's technology was being studied, though most of it was centuries behind Earth's hidden advancements. "Message from the Council chambers," his AI announced. "The Empire has formally accepted all terms." Harrison nodded, thinking of the centuries of preparation that had led to this moment. Humanity had survived its own wars, learned from them, and emerged stronger. When they looked to the stars and realized they weren't alone, they didn't panic. They planned. They prepared. They developed technologies in secret that the Empire couldn't imagine. Diana Frost joined him on the observation deck, watching Earth rotate below them. "The quantum gate network is operating at full capacity," she reported. "We're already receiving requests for independence from 30 Imperial worlds." "And so begins a new age," Harrison replied. "The galaxy is about to learn what we've known for centuries. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our ability to learn from history, to prepare for threats before they arrive, and to fight with everything we have when necessary." The stars shone silently in the void, watching as humanity stepped onto the galactic stage, not as victims or subjects, but as guardians. The empire that had threatened Earth now served as an example to any other civilization that might consider conquest. Underestimate humanity at your peril. For in the end, the empire had learned what humanity had known all along. Sometimes the most dangerous predator is the one that waits patiently, watching and preparing, until the perfect moment to strike. The game was over. Humanity had won, and the galaxy would never be the same.